There's a lot of different paths that lawyers who specialize in this area of the law go down. One is we pursue companies that are in business and we litigate against them in the court system. The other is we pursue trust claims, which are companies that filed for bankruptcy protection but were forced to put money into a fund for people that later develop mesothelioma from exposure to those companies' products. A lot of people reach out to seek compensation is because medical bills pile up. Sometimes people who were working are no longer able to work because they're constantly going to the doctor. Even family members who are fully employed end up having to become caregivers and not have time to do their jobs. And so there's a financial impact on the family. And so they look for ways to recover for what they lost. And that's really what it is. It's not some kind of a windfall or lottery. What it is it's just compensation for what was taken from a family. And in many instances, a lot is taken, and so a large amount of compensation is appropriate. Family members can be eligible for compensation in a mesothelioma lawsuit, depending upon what jurisdiction and specifically what family members they are. There are some jurisdictions that have separate claims for spouses. There are some jurisdictions that have separate claims for children. And it all depends upon where you are in the country as to whether or not a particular family member has a separate case against the manufacturers of asbestos-containing products in addition to the injured person. Really depends upon the case, and I'll give you some of the factors that are taken into consideration in evaluating the value of a case. First off, was the person working at the time? Is there an economic loss? What is the cost of medical treatment? Sometimes medical treatment alone can be in the millions of dollars, and that's something that certainly a patient is entitled to get back. What is the cost of medical treatment? In some instances, medical treatment alone can be millions of dollars, and a patient is certainly entitled to recover that cost. The other thing is, what's the length of time that they suffered with the disease? What are the different types of treatment they received? All of these aspects of the case come into account when we're trying to determine the value. And in some instances, the value of a case could be millions of dollars, and others it could be less. It really just depends upon the very specific circumstances. We don't go after the United States government. We go after the companies that manufactured asbestos-containing products and equipment that exposed our clients to asbestos while they may have been working or serving in the United States government. So if they were in a Navy ship and they were exposed to asbestos in the engine room of a Navy ship, for example, we wouldn't be suing the Navy for that. We'd be suing the manufacturers of the boilers, the pumps, the valves, the turbines, the steam traps, the gaskets, and those kinds of equipment and insulation manufacturers. A lot of these cases end up getting resolved piecemeal with a variety of different defendants that are involved in the case. So there might be some aspects of the case where if there is a bankruptcy trust claim, it might get paid out relatively quickly, within a year. And then if there are active defendants who we have to sue in the tort system, meaning go to court against, sometimes those cases take a bit longer. So one case could have early settlements in it and then also later settlements. It really just depends upon what the defendants are and what the strategy of the case is that we decide together between the lawyer and the client. If an individual does unfortunately pass away from mesothelioma, the family of that individual can still pursue a lawsuit. What has to happen is somebody has to be elected as the estate representative, and that's often provided for in a will. If there is no will, the family can make an application for a particular person in the family to be designated as the representative of the estate of the person that passed away from mesothelioma. And then that case will proceed forward, and any money that comes from that case will go to the estate of the person that passed away from mesothelioma and distributed either according to their wishes, pursuant to a will, or if there was no will, according to what's called the laws of intestacy, which vary by state to state. If you have questions about the diagnosis of mesothelioma and how it impacts your ability to get compensation, both from trust claims and also from active companies that we pursue in the court system, go ahead and reach out to the Mesothelioma Fund, and they will hopefully answer some of your questions, provide some information, and if necessary and appropriate, connect you with a law firm.